Good morning, everyone. This is Kazan Coffee Las Vegas, and here we do have this beautiful Stingray right behind us. And let's find out what's the story behind this car. Well, tell us about how you found the car originally.
Well, I moved to Las Vegas a little over a year ago, and I had a couple of cars in California. And right before I was getting ready to move, I sold one of my cars. And this car was in a car collection, and I heard that the guy was wanting to sell it, and he was going to take it to Mecum or one of the other auctions. I can't remember which. So when I sold my car, I contacted him, and long story short, we made a deal, and I bought the car. So I brought this out to Las Vegas with me instead of this. I sold a '64 Plymouth Savoy with an aluminum Hemi in it. So that's how I ended up with the car. So it's been a little over a year ago that I've owned it. And since I've had it here, I decided, when I first bought the car, it was maroon, and the original color was the sea green silver. So I decided to put it back to sea green silver. And so being that I'm doing that, I decided to go through the motor, and everything is fresh. I spent approximately $20,000 on the car. So this is the first time out. I just got it running the other day.
Wow. Well, tell us about the general information about this car. I heard this split window is quite rare to find.
The split window is really rare. There's two of the holy grail of Corvettes. 63 split window Fuelie or the 67 tri-power big block Corvette. So those are the two most popular, I think, of the Corvettes in the 60s era. So I was fortunate enough to get this car, and I used to own two more fuel-injected Corvettes. When I got out of high school in 1960, I bought a 61 fuel-injected Corvette. And then in 62, I bought a brand new 62.
Well, tell us about the fuel injection portion. How rare is that?
Well, I can't remember the exact number. It's something in the neighborhood, I think, of 2,000, maybe 3,000. 63 cars came with fuel injection with the 4-speed and the high lift solid lifter cam. So it's a fairly rare car, and the price can be from wherever to wherever. Just depends on how much they want to pay for it.
Do you have any plans to do anything to do with your car?
No, I think, after what I've done is, painted and gone through the motor and freshened everything up, there's really nothing else to do to it. I want to enjoy it. I want to drive it and take it to car shows. I'm thinking about going back to California September, I believe it's September the 24th. They're having Cruising for a Cure in California at the fairgrounds. That's a show that I used to go to all the time. I want to try to make that show, and then the next day on Sunday in Redondo Beach on the pier, it's an invitation only, and I've always gone to that car show. So I'm going to try to make those two shows mid-September, and then I'll be back here in Vegas and doing all the shows I can do there.
Are you part of any car club in Las Vegas?
No, I'm not. I'm a car enthusiast. I love doing this stuff, but no, I don't belong to a car club.
How do you gain all this knowledge about this particular car and anything else?
Too much noise, I didn't hear you.
How do you gain all the knowledge about this car without being part of the car club?
Well, since I've bought the car, I bought books. I bought a Corvette book that's about that thick.
Oh, wow.
So it tells you all the information you want to know, how to tell what numbers are correct and this type of thing. So I've kind of educated myself a little on the car. I don't know everything about it, but I'm trying to learn more and more.
Well, the designer of this car, Peter Brook, lives in Las Vegas. Have you met him before?
I understand he's supposed to be at the cruise this morning, and somebody was going to bring him over to introduce me to him, but I haven't met him yet. I know about Peter Brock. I have never met him.
What would it be like for you to meet a person who actually designed the car when he was 19 years old?
Well, it was really interesting. I read a little bit about it, and I think he had a hard time getting this particular design done, by the other people that were, making those decisions. And I think he finally won out and got his split window. It only lasted 1 year. There's all kinds of stories of why it never continued. It was a blind spot in the rear view window. And I understand that when the 64s come out, a lot of people cut that split window out and put a 64 window in it. So they just devalued the heck out of their car, but but it is really interesting how this thing all come about.
Well, let's talk about the split window one more time. So aerodynamic of it, to have that little center portion, is it better for the car to run faster?
I don't think the center part has anything to do with aerodynamics, because it would, even if you took it out and just had the glass, it would still be the same aerodynamic. It's just that when you drive the car and you look in your rearview mirror, you do have a blind spot right there. And I think that's why they discontinued it. So that, it was a 1 year only, so these days who knew that one year only would make the car so much more valuable than, say, a 64 or 65. Well, another thing I was going to say, a 63 was a new design. They come out with the independent rear suspension, so it was a different car than the 62. So that was what they call a C, I believe it's a C2. So that was a C2s ran from, I think, 63 to 67, I think. So.
Out of all the cars that's in the market, what attracts you to this particular car?
Well, it's because I used to own a 60 and a 62. And I never was, one particular type car guy. I mean, I like them all. I mean, I like the Fords, the Chryslers, Chevys. So I kind of like to change every once in a while. I did, when out of high school, I had a Ford, and then I had a Chevy, then I had a Pontiac, and then I've had quite a few different cars, and I just like them all, to tell you the truth. Whatever. As long as it's a good-looking car and has some horsepower, that's what I really like.
Thank you so much for bringing this beautiful car to Cars and Coffee Las Vegas.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you.
See you soon again.